Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode of Muslimi Meets with very interesting youth Muslims around the community, around the country. I'm hosting with my co-host Bona Mohammed. Today we have two special guests, Mounir and Afaf, from the Quebec City Mosque. All too often when you hear about Quebec, we hear about the tragedy. Well, Quebec City, we hear about the tragedy, January 29, 2017. These two individuals are from that city. There's a lot they can give us their perspective, input as Muslims, as proud Quebecers, proud Muslims, in terms of what they're up to. And I thought it's important for us in English-speaking Canada to hear about their story. So I'll start with you, Mounir, and then we'll go with you, Afaf, after. How does it feel and like living in Quebec City, that is?
Okay, Barakallahu fikum. Thank you for having us. It's an honor to be able to speak on the behalf of the Muslim community of Quebec City. I think as a Muslim living in Quebec, it's not as easy as living in a bigger community like Montreal. Montreal has a much bigger community of Muslims, and I think you can more identify with other people and other groups, and there's more things in general, activities, centers, mosques. You can find your way into your faith or as a Muslim more easily. So in Quebec, but in Quebec, as we are less Muslims, I think we have this strong bond between us. We're less, but we're more like we're more between us. We're helping each other.
More connected,
Yeah, more connected, more tightly knit. So I think it's a great thing. But there is still more challenges. There's still challenges to try to attract the youth, us and the younger, to try to come to the mosque, to do the activities and all this. But alhamdulillah, I think we have great people. We have great people to help us to try to move things. And alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah. Afaf, as a visible Muslima woman living in Quebec City, it's a very small community. How does it feel? And what are your experiences?
Well, I'm gonna say Quebec City is a really acceptance city. I'm not gonna say it's easy. It will always be hard, but I cannot deny the change that I saw through the year because it's my first year wearing the hijab, alhamdulillah. But I saw my mother and how she was treated before with the hijab since I was younger, and I saw how people were disgusted. But alhamdulillah, she has a strong personality. She never let herself down. She was an amazing influence for me. So I saw how to stand up for myself and everything, but I did see the change. Now people are more intrigued than discussed by us. And I feel like the key here is to be transparent, because at the end of the day, we don't have anything to hide. What we are doing, it's great, it's good, we believe in good things. So when you take time with people, you can just ask, they ask you and you just be open. I feel like this is what helped me to make people want to talk to me. Whenever they have questions, I'm here for them, and I don't want to hide anything. So this is what have helped me with the hijab, and just go out there, show them that you're a human, because sometimes they forget you're human, they forget you're even myself. If I don't wear the hijab, I look like ethnically ambiguous. So they used to talk to me and everything, but now that I got a hijab, they even doubt if I speak English or French. So yeah, just be out there, put yourself, be a good example for the Muslim community, show what we are capable for.
Absolutely.
I think one thing that many of us here in the English speaking part of Canada sometimes fail to understand is the level of hostility and Islamophobia that a lot of times Muslims in the French part of Canada face. It's unparalleled to what we experience here. And I want to say, first of all, you guys are, mashallah, strong, very strong in your faith. And this is a test that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to you uniquely. Maybe us Ontarians are a little bit weak, maybe, subhanAllah. That's why we don't have that same test. But at the same time, why is it, and maybe you can educate some of us around French culture, without maybe getting too vulgar. What is it about the French culture that, that feels at times at odds with Islam?
Okay. So I think the problems with French Canadians or Quebecers in particular is that if you look at the history of Quebec with religion, you see a lot of conflict with the church. So until the 1960s, the church was a big part of the society in Quebec. Big part. It has the education, the health system, everything. It has roots everywhere. It's like an octopus. It has all the tentacles and has had a hold on everything. And throughout the years, this control was more and more too strong, corrupt, and all of this. So in the 60s, they made a revolution, like a quiet one.
The quiet
in French,
revolution,
it's Révolution tranquille. So it's quiet revolution. And they just got rid of the church in all of the institutions of the state. And so Quebecers in their nature, in their culture, have this not disgust, but this fear or this never again with religion as in general. With the church, so it generalized in religion. So when they see someone practicing religion, they see, oh, it's gonna happen again. If we let them take control, if we let them take too much place, it's gonna happen again. It's not gonna be church, it's gonna be mosque, it's gonna be the Jews, it's gonna be anyone who's practicing religion. So they have this fear of religious taking again control. So, but when you educate them, when you talk to them, when they see you don't have like a plan to take over Quebec or Canada or the world, they say, oh, they're just people who try to practice something they believe in, and they're quite good citizens in the end of the day. They're good citizens, they work, they study, they do good things. So it's just a matter of past, of history, and a part of ignorance.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, from my limited knowledge of even France, right? French history, there's this very, very big emphasis on secularism, right?
Yeah.
On what?
Yeah, secularism.
Laicité.
Yeah.
Separating
Laicité,
church and
yeah.
state, right?
Yeah.
And this is in France as well. And maybe Yusuf, you can chime in. Is there something innately embedded in French culture, not just Quebec culture, but French culture, which goes against religion or even the connection of religion and state?
Absolutely. I mean, we make a joke in the French-speaking world, and Afaf and Mounir can talk about it. They say laïcité, which in English is badly translated as secularism, but they say laïcité is a religion in itself. That is to say, the separation of church and state is a religion. And France had a very bloody divorce since 1789. And then with respect to Quebec, it's what Mounir talked about, the Quiet Revolution. The former premier of Quebec and before 1959 was Maurice Duplessis. He was called a father because of the link to the Catholic Church. So there's this paranoia when they see these visibly looking, mostly North Africans, with this idea of like, okay, there's a threat to this fabric of laïcité. And so it's always there in the background, right? And you have a premier right now in Quebec that denies the existence of Islamophobia and systemic racism. So I want to pick up on what me and Bona just spoke about. And this tragedy, I think it's important for us to talk about. On January 20th, we're approaching the tragedy, the 6-year anniversary of January 29, 2017. Take us back, and I apologize for talking about this, but I think the community needs to take us back where you were that night, and what was your initial reaction? Okay. I'll start with you, Afaf, as a visibly Muslim-looking woman. I think it'll be important for us to hear it.
At the time, I wasn't visibly Muslim, but I remember that night. I was at my McDonald's school, which is too close, way too close from the mosque to me. And I remember I had just had a call of not even my mother, my friend's mother, who's like, "Where are you?" I was like, "I don't even talk to you on the regular. Why are you asking me this?" But I didn't say this because,
Respect. Yeah.
Respect, exactly. So I was like, "Oh, I'm at McDonald's. Stay where you are. Don't move. I'm coming." My heart pounded. I wasn't doing anything wrong, but I know, like, the way she spoke, I never, and especially when it's somebody you don't know that is so scared for your safety. You didn't know what was happening. So I didn't move. And then I was like, "Oh, Mom, what is happening?" I called her. She was like, "There are some people that are dead. Wait, we're coming for you." I said, "Okay." So they got me. They didn't speak the old trip. Yeah, they didn't speak. And it's like 5-minute drive. So I felt the tension, but I didn't ask anything. Then when I came home, the news were on. People were crying. I was like, "What is happening?" They told me, "Yeah, there was an attack." And we sat down. C'est quoi le nom du père? Soufiane.
Azdin Soufiane.
Soufiane Zidiane, yeah.
Rahmo is the father of my friends and my mom's friend, and we used to live next to them because it's in our apartment complex, and we used to live next to them. So that was our next stop. We took my mother and my sister, and we went there. We saw them, and before we got there. I'm sorry, I'm speaking like
you're doing great. You're doing mashallah.
Okay, we got there, and yet we didn't know that he was dead. So we got the news once we got there. There was, but alhamdulillah, guys, so much people. All the ladies were there in a second. We're all together. Even like, Arab community, it's like, sometimes it's hard. It's hard. It's tough love. It's hard love. You don't want to like know too much about somebody or whatever. But when it's time to gather up and to like support people, there were so much people there. And when we got the news, it was sad, but she wasn't alone. The child were alone. We were all together. So this is my POV of the situation. Once again, it's all in the same like location. Everyone, sorry, everybody and everyone was closed. So that was a bit scary. I didn't come back till years after that. And even coming here, it was a joke, but not really. I was like, I feel like the information that there is this much Muslim in the same location, it's a bit sketchy. It's like out there, anybody can have this information, but they talked me through it. Alhamdulillah, we did it till the third day. So,
MashaAllah, may Allah bless you and give you guys tawfiq for the strength, you know, and we hear the mothers, the strength of the beloved mothers, the work, and they've done mashallah some work. But Mounir, what about you? What were you that evening? What was your experience?
I remember like it was yesterday. So I came back from a soccer tournament, and I came back to my school, and then my dad had to pick me up, and then my sisters were in the car, and then I jump in the car, and then they say we heard gunshots. We've been told somebody heard gunshots at the mosque. And then we say, no, it can't be gunshots. It has to be fireworks or something, but not gunshots. It's Quebec City. It's not like... And then we're half serious, half scared. And then they say, no. We heard gunshots, and there's the police that's coming. We heard screams, we heard something. And then the silence is just creeping in. The fear is creeping in. And then we go... we had a friend with us. We just dropped him at his house. And then we went to our house. And then it got more serious and more serious. Yeah, people have died. People are at the hospital. The police is there. They haven't found him. He flew the scene. And then the whole time I was just, it can't be that.
there was so much humor. I don't know why. We were young. We laughed so much because we didn't know how to handle.
Well, you were
this.
processing that
You're
emotion.
processing, yeah.
We were like, that's a joke.
Yeah,
I know
that's
this is
a
not
joke.
happening.
It can't be, it can't be real. It can't be real. It can be anything but real.
Yeah,
It can be
Denial.
not far, it can be real.
yeah.
And then the truth like began to sink, and then we say okay, and then we heard the people, like the names of the people who were dead and who are at the hospital and were injured.
Mhm.
And then I was more shocked than sad, or I was more shocked in a shock state. I couldn't process that information. The day after I didn't went to school because it was just like shocking. And then the day after, it was a Sunday. So Tuesday I went to school, and there was just the whole school like asking me how we're doing, how is it going. The whole people were texting me, writing me, how is it going, what's going, we're with you, you're not alone. And like mostly locals, like Quebecers. There was so much solidarity between us. It's like a brotherhood.
Yeah.
You know, and they say it's like a crazy person. It's not like there's hate in the population. There is, but this person is like an isolated incident, and they were such like the community is such tightly knit at this moment. There were no Muslim. It was just Quebecers
Absolutely.
united
Yeah.
Absolutely.
in this incident, and I think that was beautiful.
Yeah.
I'd
Quebec-
say this about the Quebec community: when it's time to like be together and like to give credits where they're meant to be and to support each other, I'm not gonna lie, they were there. They stand
they
up
were there.
for us.
Definitely there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
They marched
incredible.
with
Oh, they were
us,
incredible.
yeah.
The
The
Quebec-
support
yeah.
was just crazy.
Absolutely.
Really.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on all of those who
I
passed
mean,
away.
I
May Allah
they
Azza wa
really
Jal,
deserve it.
bless all of the shuhada. These were martyrs.
Of
subhanallah.
course.
These are
Absolutely.
people who
Of course.
died in the
Allahu
masjid.
Akbar.
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu
What a
Akbar.
beautiful
Imagine
way
praying Aisha.
to meet their demise,
Allahu
subhanallah.
Akbar.
But if we're gonna wrap up soon, inshallah. If you could offer one piece of advice or tip to the French-speaking part of Canada, or maybe other Muslim youth in French-speaking parts of the world that maybe are dealing with similar circumstances or feeling that pressure, not feeling like they truly belong, in each of you, what would you say? What advice would you offer?
I'd say that every question is a good question. It's only the way you ask the question. Keep asking questions. Keep asking questions. They come from a place to fear for them, but also for us. Women especially, they fear for us and they're scared for us and they don't want us to be oppressed. But when they speak to us and they understand that everything is consensual and that we're happy and that we're, I don't know how to say, I'm out of words, but like keep coming with a good interest and ask questions. It's just the way you ask it. If you're sweet about it, if you're open about it, if you want to learn, not like to put somebody in the bad position, but if you want to learn, it's the way to go.
Okay, beautiful.
My answer is in two parts. The first one, because as living as a Muslim, and I went to not Catholic school, but a school that has a Catholic past. So I was like the only Muslim in school, like 600 people, I was the only Muslim. So at times I really felt alone, you know, just different. And it felt difficult at sometimes to be different than all the other ones. And then after years and past, I realized that this difference, Islam, is the only the biggest treasure that we have. It's a difference, but it's the biggest treasure you can have, and you have to like care for it. You have to give it Quran, Salah. You have to, I don't know, comment on, yeah. You have to
feed it. You have to nourish it.
Yeah, nourish it.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to let it die, because if you let it die, the whole environment is just gonna not care for it. It's your job.
Yeah.
First.
And even them, they're not gonna take you seriously.
Yeah, they're just, oh, what is he talking about? Like some guy in the skies, or they're just not gonna take your faith seriously. So who's gonna do it if not you yourself? First, second, us coming from a community where there's not a lot of things already there when you come. The only thing that's important is to start somewhere. Start small. Start two people. Two people go to the mosque, go to the Jumu'ah, go read Quran. Two people, you and another one, or just you, and maybe you'll bring somebody with you, and then somebody with him, and then somebody with him, and then you'll go. I have a little story. A few months ago, our sheikh in the mosque, Sheikh Mohammed Fuad, started a series of halaqah between the Salat al-Maghrib and Isha.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning, there were a lot of women that came, like 20, 30. Women are they're really implicated in the community.
Because they're a place for us.
Yeah, there's a place, they're, you know, just by nature, I think.
Yeah.
But men, zero men. And then my sisters were in the group. They said, come, try to bring a friend with you.
Him.
Then I said, there's no man. How I'll be good, you know. I'll just be I'll be just like
awkward.
Yeah,
it's not my place.
Yeah.
And then they say, just come, try to bring somebody with you. Then I came, I brought somebody with me, and then he brought somebody with him. And the last halaqah this Wednesday, we were like 35 men.
MashaAllah,
And the halaqah and a lot of women. So, you know, just start. Just bring somebody with you. Just start somewhere. It doesn't matter where, just start. And if you do it, the good intentions, like she said, inshallah, Allah is gonna put barakah in it, and it's gonna be a khair, inshallah. So it's just start somewhere, and it'll grow with the barakah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Can I add a little thing?
Yes, go ahead.
Islam is a religion of friendship. So like be friends with everybody. Like you said, you gotta be together, you gotta create your community, and even if you're not Muslim, come into the community. There will always be place for everybody.
Yeah.
So friendship.
Wow. You know, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, resilience is not taught.
No.
It's given.
No.
And you know, this story is a story that all of us across this nation and across the world have a stake in. And you know, we have so much to learn. The tragedy that happened to our brothers and sisters in Quebec City left 17 individuals as yatim, we say in Arabic, as orphans. And so as a community, we look to you to, you know, and you're our future, and it's important for us to not forget about this story, because you know, and you hear the faith, you wear the faith with such pride, mashallah. And you know, we're proud Quebecers, we're proud Canadians, and we contribute to this country as this country contributes to us, and as that province contributes. And I think it's important, everybody who's listening in English-speaking Canada, that you know, we should never forget this story. And these youth are a testament to the strength of this ummah that we call Islam. So, mashallah. Well, there you have it. With Afaf and Mounir, from the youth from Quebec City, with my co-host Bona. Another episode of Muslimi Meets. See you next time.